Welcome to Cam Look, your biweekly dose of the Cincinnati Art Museum. Every Tuesday and Thursday, a staff member or volunteer will talk about a work from the collection and post questions for discussion. Check back at 10 a.m. on those days for new works and new conversations. Hi, I'm Jessica, the Art Bridges Fellow at the Cincinnati Art Museum, and today I will be talking about this beautiful work from our collection. As the weather warms up and the sun begins peeking its head out of the clouds, one might reflect on the coming of spring and the joy in life it provides. This work, titled Proserpine, is a sculpture by Hiram Powers, and is, to me, an embodiment of the spring season we are about to enjoy. Hiram Powers was born in Woodstock, Vermont, growing up on his family's farm. In 1818, however, his family moved to our very own city of Cincinnati, though his father's death shortly after caused him to leave home in search of work and money. He began his portrait career while working at a hotel, creating silhouette cutouts of the visitors he saw, and he began gaining attention a few years later when he mechanically animated wax figures at a local museum to make them appear full of life. 10 years after his move to Cincinnati, Hiram Powers enrolled at the Cincinnati Academy of Fine Arts, where he met Nicholas Longworth, who convinced him to relocate his career to Washington, D.C. In his early work, Powers demonstrated a proclivity for naturalistic renderings in sculpture, as evidenced in his portrait bust of Andrew Jackson, which was so like its sitter that it rose to the forefront of American portrait sculpture. During his process, Powers once asked Andrew Jackson what he thought of his original clay bust and its depiction of the president's toothlessness, to which Andrew Jackson responded, "Make me as I am, Mr. Powers, and be true to nature always. It is the only safe rule to follow. I have no desire to look young as long as I feel old, and it seems to me that if the only object in making a bust is to get a representation of a man who sits, that it be as nearly as possible a perfect likeness. If he has not teeth, why then make him with teeth?" In spite of this advice from Andrew Jackson and the success of his portrait, Powers soon abandoned his naturalism in favor of idealism and depictions of figures from religion and history as we see here. The piece we are looking at is Powers' most popular ideal bust, depicting Proserpine from Roman mythology. According to the myth, Proserpine was abducted by Pluto, who wished to marry her and bring her to the underworld where they could live together forever. Proserpine's disappearance sent her mother Ceres, the goddess of agriculture, into a panic, trying and failing to locate her daughter. Upon failing to find Proserpine, Ceres descended into sorrow, ceasing the growth of fruits and vegetables on earth. Eventually, Jupiter sent Mercury to free Proserpine from Pluto, but her freedom came with a price. Pluto forced Proserpine to consume 3 pomegranate seeds, which meant that she would have to return to the underworld for 3 months each year to live with him. Every year upon her return, Ceres became overjoyed, spurring the growth of crops and signifying the advent of spring. In this sculpture, Proserpine appears to bloom out of a bush of acanthus leaves, almost as if she is the flower itself. These acanthus leaves symbolize immortality, and the wreath of wheat around her head alludes to her role in agriculture. As we enter March and the flowers begin breaking their way through the earth, think of Proserpine and her joyful return to her mother. The discussion question today is, if you were a god or goddess of something on earth, what would it be? Would it be the sun, the ocean, love, maybe even agriculture like Ceres? Think about what you would rule and let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on today's Cam Look. Make sure to check back at 10 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday for new works and new conversations.